Jose, I was listening to your media interviews yesterday, and the one thing that grabbed my most attention, and I want you to see if you could talk a little bit about it more, is the difference between 140 and 147. I had never heard the way you talked about it, but there's a speed difference. There's a speed difference, and obviously here with Robert Garcia, with one of the biggest gyms potentially in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, over 30 professional fighters, an amateur program in the afternoon, world champions like you, like Mikey, like Bam Rodriguez. Talk to us a little bit about that. I can name a couple 147 pounders that you fight here. I mean, you've fought. I mean, clearly Mikey's a lightweight, but he's moved his way into welterweight. But you fight guys like Manny Rodriguez, who's 154 coming down to 147. You fought Lindolfo's a 140, but
Alex Rocha,
147. Giovani Santillan from San Diego, who's clearly a 147. Talk to us a little bit about that, about the speed difference.
Yeah, there's, I think there's a lot of things that boxing fans and most people don't know, but in boxing there's always a weight class. Just because they're bigger doesn't mean it might be more complicated. If you're a fighter that has great timing, a fighter that's a little slower might make you feel more comfortable. If you're a fighter who fights on the inside, a boxer who moves a lot and has a great distance, it might be more complicated, right? And it's I think the 140, it's probably that most people don't acknowledge. It's one of the weight classes that you still have the power as a welterweight to knock anybody out, and you got the speed as a lightweight, to outbox and make it difficult for anybody. So it's a very complicated weight class. So I'm a fighter who has great speed. I think more speed than what people tend to see. And I think when I spar the 147s, the 154s, and even the 160s, like Javier Martinez and other 160s that I spar, you can see the difference of speed, right? And that's why I feel more comfortable. And sometimes it becomes easier for me in sparring to take control of the sparring session. When I spar guys like Ray Muratalla,
who's 135,
who's fast, sometimes it might be more complicated.
Sure.
And it just. I think you could say styles, might become more complicated than others, but I think it also has to do with sizes. Certain, you go to a smaller weight class, they're faster. But it's always good to. I feel like I have a little bit of both. I feel like I have great power for my weight class. Giovani and all those guys that I spar, Javier, they say that I hit extremely hard, and they can't believe sometimes how hard I hit. Giovani actually complimented me my last sparring session. He said him and his father said that and boxers, we like to have pride, so we don't really say this. But they said that I hit much harder than Giovani's last two welterweight opponents, and so I know I have the power, and I have the speed. So I think I'm in a great position to decide to move to 147 whenever I want to.
Somebody once asked Virgil Ortiz, who sparred you and Mikey, the difference in power, and he said both of them hit really hard, I forgot how he described Mikey's power, but when he talked about you, he said when Jose hits you, you feel it in your bones, it's a special kind of power.
The first time I sparred Javier Martinez, he came from Milwaukee, and he came and he was a 160 and he sparred me, and the first time I hit him in the body, he goes, he felt like I moved his ribs to the other side. He said he has never been hit like that by a 140 pounder before. So Ray Muratalla too, he knows the power that I have, and all the guys that I sparred could say that. There's just things that I gotta work on. That I feel if I let my body develop and just get the size now at 147, I think I could be the dangerous 147 fighter.
Do you think, when I hear you say that, let my body develop into, because you're 29 years old, right?
Sure.
Do you think that's true of a lot of boxers? I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Do you think it's true of a lot of boxers because you're an athlete and you deprive yourself of certain meals and certain nutrients that your body ultimately doesn't get to its natural potential?
It could be a lot of that could be very just the anatomy of the.
I'm gonna tell you one thing, because when I see your brother, I see height. Is that, was he a lot taller than you growing up, or?
Yeah, he's been the tallest of the family.
He's always been the tallest of the family. Okay.
My family, yeah. So, you know,
how old is he? How old is he?
He's 27.
Okay, so he's 2 years younger than you.
2 years younger.
Okay.
Yeah, and but I think, you know, strength-wise, I felt like, you know, I was the stronger athlete. Mm-hmm. We both did very similar sports. Ran track, cross country, soccer. You know, I felt like I've always had that killer instinct, you know, and that strength to push. My body has always been very, very strong, and you know, my core has always been very strong. You know, just like a natural athlete, you know. So I have very good genetics, except I have the Hispanic genetics. So my body, I gotta really work and get in the diet to look cut, you know.
Sure.
I got the Mexican genetics, but you know, I feel like. When I mean let my body develop, it's put on more muscle, and maybe in the 147 you're able to be more composed. You can take your time more. It doesn't have to be so quick, you know, and a fast pace.
Right.
And that could be very beneficial to me, just because I feel like that's more of my style.
I'm gonna share something personal with you, Jose. I'm new to this media thing, and I've only been doing it a few years. But you inspired me. You inspired me so much that in your last fight, I bought a plane ticket to Las Vegas, and I've applied to a couple media credentials, but I'm gonna be sincere with you. I didn't have a ticket to the fight, and I didn't have a room to stay in. You inspired me because somos mexicanos, and I was like, I wanted to be there so bad, and I just bought a ticket. I told my wife, I'm just gonna buy a ticket. Y a ver qué pasa. And when I got there, I ran into a friend, and he said, the AC in my room is broken, so they upgraded me to a suite. So I have an extra couch. He said, you could stay in my room.
Nice.
And the day of the fight, Virgil Ortiz's dad had an extra ticket to his suite. Like an expensive ticket. Like this wasn't like, no era cualquier cosa. Like I'm used to paying $50, $100 for a ticket here at Carson in San Diego.
And it was a very limited. It was a
very limited event.
Tickets,
And Virgil's dad gave me a ticket, so I went on. I believed in you so much, and I wanted you to win so bad that I took a risk. And con el puro avión me fui. And guess what? God took care of me. I got a room to sleep in because I left Sunday morning, the first flight back, and I got a ticket to the fight.
Awesome.
And it was just,
I got to experience it.
It was, and I just want to share that with you because I think there's hundreds, maybe even thousands of people that have stories just like mine from the Central Valley that are really excited, que tienen mucho orgullo de cómo te comportas, no nomás en el cuadrilátero, pero cómo te comportas afuera y cómo eres con la gente, ¿verdad? De mucho respeto y...
You know, I feel like, you know, I'm just very thankful. You know what I mean? I'm very thankful with the sport of boxing for allowing me to fight for the people, right, and become a voice for a lot of people. So I feel like that's who I am. I'm a fighter, inside and outside the ring. So if I see the opportunity to fight for the people and fight for policies or fight for different things that's gonna make a better life and a better future for the people, I'm gonna take that opportunity to take that step and motivate them to make that step with me.
Absolutely.
You know, and we got one of the largest farmers in Central California. He owns over 15,000 of his personal almond acres of almonds, and he manages another 6,000 acres of almonds for other farmers, and he processes the almonds. He's probably one of the biggest almond growers who's vertical, who has a nursery, a processor, and a hauling company. And he brought two of his workers that have been with him the longest. He brought my brother, my younger brother, my father, and my brother-in-law on his private jet.
Oh wow!
He brings them on black SUVs to the gym to see me train. You know, he's done it all. You know, they do things like that from the Central Valley. Big people, you know, big successful farmers bring their employees to see me train. You know, and they go back home and they get motivated to keep moving forward and continue fighting, because we're all fighting the fight. And so I'm glad I could do that for the people. I'm glad I could do that for you and for many, you know, and God bless you guys, man. And I'm humble, and I'm excited for this fight. You know, I can't wait to get back on top.
It's exciting. Thank you for your time.
No, gracias. Thank you.
Buena suerte con todo.
Igualmente, gracias.
What a good job. Yeah. His grandpa was a sea cat like that. You gotta be on the game. Like a family. Right shot. Right shot.
¿Cómo estás?
Ready. Amen.
Si necesitas más, let me know. And se la llevo con Robert.
Okay.
Pita's gonna go with Robert too, right? Because I got Pita's number. You want any other sizes?
Get their sizes, the tournament. And Robin knows the tournament.